Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking a fascinating trip into a single, really comprehensive source, an analysis from the Jamaica Homes Journal.
hmm
And our mission is to understand not just where the affluent live in 2026, but maybe more importantly, the critical and urgent why behind those choices.
Right. It's a look at the geography of Jamaican wealth.
Exactly.
And it goes so far beyond just property value. The source material is really clear. Jamaican wealth has always been defined by position,
Position.
elevation, outlook, access, and crucially, legacy. And what we're seeing now is how all these current pressures are just profoundly reinforcing that historical truth.
That intersection, history, and urgency, that feels key. The journal talks a lot about what they call the January reset.
Yeah.
We've heard that phrase, but
Yeah.
for our deep dive, we need to define it. What exactly drove this reset?
That's, essential context. The January reset was really triggered by the aftermath of some specific, pretty devastating environmental events.
Recent storms.
Primarily, yes. The recent string of tropical storms and then the market reaction that followed. We're talking about catastrophic insurance spikes.
Oh, wow.
And critically, a governmental reassessment of land use policies, especially in the low-lying corporate areas.
So this wasn't just a market correction. It was a physical and a policy-driven shock that suddenly made these status symbols feel, well, structurally vulnerable.
Precisely. It shifted the whole conversation from how impressive is this view to how long can the structure actually endure.
Right.
And that meant stability, resilience, foresight. Those became the true luxury commodities. It reinforced the value of places that have always held power, but for newly practical reasons.
Okay, let's unpack this. We should start where the gravity is strongest,
Kingston.
the engine room.
The engine room, yeah.
The city is still the hub for everything, politics, finance, law, culture. But the source makes it absolutely undeniable that wealth avoids sea level. It climbs the hills.
And you can see these distinct layers of affluence as you ascend. Let's start with, say, Norbrook and Cherry Gardens. The journal frames these as locations of quiet permanence. This is where wealth was built steadily, not suddenly.
This is old money, in a sense.
In a way, yes. Largely from the post-independence professional class, the doctors, top civil servants, the established bankers.
I love the description they use in the journal. These homes feel held, not displayed. They often have these wide lots, mature trees that are decades old, and they just reward consistency. There's a sense of legacy there that's so different from the more transient wealth you see elsewhere.
And that quiet permanence, it signals stability. So if those neighborhoods are the established legacy, then the next tier up,
Okay.
Jacks Hill, Beverly Hills, and Red Hills, they are absolutely focused on securing that crucial vantage point.
Which is understandable. You're looking for distance from the heat, the pollution, the chaos of the city floor,
Exactly.
all while keeping that incredible sweeping view across Kingston Harbor.
Right.
It's strategic.
It is, and the source really emphasizes how Red Hills, in particular, adds something that's become so practical since the reset land.
Yeah.
Acreage.
Right. It's not just about the view anymore.
Not at all.
So when we talk about practical acreage in this context, what does that actually mean on the ground? Why is a bigger lot a necessity now, not just an aspiration?
It ties directly into self-sufficiency. A larger lot allows for deeper boreholes, for robust integrated water storage systems that can get a household through long dry spells or, a failure in the infrastructure. It allows for huge solar arrays that can take you off the grid.
It's a hedge.
It's a total hedge against climate and infrastructural uncertainty. The journal's argument is clear. You're trading spectacle for genuine, tangible security.
That makes perfect sense. The ability to be self-reliant is the definition of luxury now.
Yeah.
So where does a place like Stony Hill fit in?
Stony Hill attracts those who are consciously choosing balance. They might be done with the daily grind of the city.
The city face.
Exactly. But they still need to be close to it. It's far enough to feel protected and a bit rural, but close enough that the commute doesn't isolate them.
So if Kingston is the source of power,
then the hills are definitively where that power chooses to rest and regenerate.
okay, so let's move out from Kingston's orbit and look at what the journal calls the settled outlier, Mandeville.
Mandeville. It's always had such a unique narrative of wealth.
Defined by what? The elevation, the cooler climate.
And its slower pace. Mandeville is distinct because it never tried to compete with Kingston.
Right.
Its wealth was built on bauxite, agriculture, and professionals who valued, education and community stability way more than any kind of flashy display.
And the neighborhoods reflect that.
Completely. Places like Ingleside, Grove Park, Brumalia, Top Hill, the wealth there is profoundly settled. It's non-flashy.
I thought the description of the lifestyle was so telling. The journal suggests Manville residents spend way more time on these large shaded verandas than their Kingston counterparts.
It reflects that slower, more contemplative pace. And in an era of climate anxiety, that elevated calm plateau is suddenly newly relevant.
It's natural air conditioning.
It is. It's comfort and calm over noise and visibility.
Now, for a completely different flavor of wealth, the North Coast. We'll get to Montego Bay, but the area around Oakey and St. Mary offers a different value proposition.
It does. It offers discretion. This is for wealth that really prefers to be private.
So where are we talking about specifically?
The source highlights places like Tower Isle, Boscobel, and that highly desirable Orcabessa enclave near Gibraltar. These are places where waterfront villas are literally tucked into private coves. They offer distance from the spectacle.
Meaning they aren't catering to the big mass tourism market.
Not at all. And the reason they remain so desirable, even with climate shifts, is that they are thoughtfully developed. Low density, careful siting, very little commercial intrusion.
It's intentional.
Very intentional. It's a self-selecting community. The focus is on the quality of your immediate environment and your privacy, not your visibility to the world.
All right, shifting gears now to the massive global magnet that is Montego Bay, Mo Bay.
Right.
This is Jamaica's international wealth and tourism capital. The dynamics here feel completely different from Kingston's Hills.
Fundamentally different. Mo Bay's market is predominantly international. So property here is viewed as both a lifestyle choice and a, globally fungible asset.
And the names themselves are like shorthand for prestige.
They are. Spring Farm, you hear that and you think golf, security, spectacular views. Iron Shore, which offers that great blend of convenience and just sheer size.
Now, if the investment is so heavily international, does the source mention any concern that this wealth might be more transient compared to the quiet permanence of Norbrook?
That's a critical question, and yes, the journal addresses it. While international money can, in theory, be more volatile, Mo Bay's established communities mitigate this through really robust international holding structures and just extremely high levels of security and maintenance. The assets are too valuable and too well managed to be transient. They attract a clientele looking for a reliable, safe harbor for their capital.
And the ultimate expression of that, according to the source, has to be the Trial Club.
Without a doubt.
It's not just a place to buy a house, is it? It's an institution.
It's defined as membership in a world. What makes it so unique is its governance and legacy ownership. It ensures standards that just don't fluctuate with the market.
So it's about stability.
It's about intense privacy and absolute stability in uncertain times. You aren't just buying a property. You're buying into a non-fluctuating standard of quality that's been preserved for generations. In 2026, that institutional stability is a massive selling point.
Okay, now let's shift just down the coast to Negril, which draws a totally different kind of affluent buyer. The intentionally wealthy, as the source puts it.
Negril is defined by edge living, and you see this most dramatically in the West End.
The cliffside properties.
Yes, these villas carved right into the limestone cliffs. There are these dramatic architectural statements looking straight out over the Caribbean. It's for people who understand and accept a certain amount of geological risk for that unparalleled beauty.
And the architecture itself reflects that intention, doesn't it?
Absolutely. The journal highlights this one detail. Many of these homes are anchored, like 20 or 30 feet into the solid limestone.
Wow.
Their homes feel deliberately anchored, not transient. It's less about opulent, sprawling luxury and more about architectural endurance and fitting into the landscape.
And even the beachfront wealth along Bloody Bay or Norman Manley Boulevard, it feels more restrained.
It is. The source notes the lower density in Bloody Bay, which attracts people who want the incredible beach without the chaos. And critically, Negril's wealthy residents tend to stay longer, they integrate more, they're building permanence in a quieter, more experiential way.
So we've mapped this whole terrain from Kingston's Hills to Negril's Cliffs. It feels like time to summarize the 2026 baseline. What market truths are holding up across all these different areas?
The consistent data points are pretty clear. First, property values are still rising, especially in those elevated, well-secured, and intentionally developed areas.
Right.
Second, while demand is international, local capital is still the essential anchor. It stabilizes the market against external shocks.
And crucially, the specifications of the property matter more than ever. Large lots, adaptable homes. They're consistently outperforming smaller, inflexible builds. Space and flexibility are non-negotiable now.
But here's the most critical shift, what we talked about earlier as the result of the January reset. The source is emphatic. Sustainability is no longer optional. It is the new baseline expectation for luxury.
Okay, tell me more about that baseline. What specific features define a resilient luxury home in 2026?
We're talking integrated solar power that covers 80% or more of usage, industrial-grade rainwater catchment, and robust tertiary water storage.
So you're off-grid capable.
Essentially. And enhanced storm resilience built into the foundation specialized window bracing, elevated utilities, infrastructure hardened against high winds. These used to be luxury extras. Now they're mandatory filters for affluent buyers.
They're prioritizing foresight over finishing.
Exactly.
That transition from status to pure practicality, from a mahogany floor being the highlight to the solar array being the prerequisite, that is a profound change.
A huge shift.
So bringing this all together, does the old map of Jamaican wealth still hold true?
It absolutely does, but the underlying why is profoundly stronger now. That January reset added this tremendous urgency to long-term viability. Buyers are asking much sharper questions.
About stability, maintenance, self-sufficiency.
Exactly. Wealth is thinking longer term and more defensively than ever before.
So the rich still live where they always have, on the hills, along protected coasts, in planned communities. But the lens they use to make that choice has fundamentally shifted.
It shifted from social status to one of resilience, foresight, and belonging.
Endurance is the ultimate value proposition.
It is. They're investing not just in their comfort, but in their ability to withstand the next inevitable shock.
Which brings us to our final thought, and it comes straight from the source's conclusion. Jamaica is small, yes, but we build tall in thought, in placement, in legacy.
It's a powerful line. It encourages you to look beyond just square footage or immediate financial return.
So if resilience truly is the new status symbol, we'd encourage you to consider what criteria beyond just cost you would use today to define long-term value and permanence in your own environment.
If stability is paramount, where do you look?
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope this gives you a new appreciation for how location, history, and foresight intersect to define true value in a changing world. Until next time, keep digging.